All right, we got batch 37 in the house, and we're going to report on this. This is a kind of a really crazy batch. Do I say that every batch? Okay, so some batches are not that crazy. This one's pretty crazy. We got the Rambo Last Blood Heartstopper, and that means that Sylvester Stallone's so old he's already had a heart attack, and so that's his last movie. Oh, and just whatever. And we got the Kuby Atlas, and we got an Eafengrow. Of course, we have to throw one of those in just for the hell of it. We've got a clone. So we covered all the ground. None of these others are clones. Okay, so good. But I think you'll be interested in how this all turns out. So I will, at the very end, give you the summary sheet so you can take a screenshot of that and then save it for your records as far as batch 37 goes. But we got Fat Dragon, we've got CH3513S, we've got Kuby, Kesiwo, whatever, and Bearfly from the Jew Fuel, and then Clonaroo, Stedman. So, these aren't not your good old standbys, And then, of course, like I said, this one, which is, a movie replica type knife that I was a little disappointed in once I got the results. All right, let's start it off, but let's go with the clone first, Mr. Clone Head. And this is supposed to be, they're calling it the Warhorse. And this is like a Hoback knockoff here. And it got sent to me by a viewer that was curious because he said, I got this, and this is the same group that's calling themselves Kevin John, but they're not Kevin John. They're not. I've already checked it out. It's not Kevin John. It's not the Kevin John that makes Kevin John knives, like the Venom Attacker and the Venom stuff and this and that and the Bone Doctor, etc. This is somebody stealing their name, okay, to try and give themselves legitimacy. And they also make that knockoff of the Grimsmo Norseman, which another guy sent to me, and I tested, saying it was M390, and it was real M390, and I don't remember if I ever got a Rockwell on it, so I can't tell you that. But so he says, I got this, and they say it's Cruwear. And actually, this knife is pretty reasonable as far as, the overall tolerances and fit and finish and stuff like that. And of course, it's not $700 or whatever, but I got the card out of the zipper pouch that he sent it to me. I'm not sure if this zipper pouch went with it or not, probably. But so it says limited edition. So here you go. D2 S35VN Cruwear, and see, they checked under that, and M390. So, of course, it's Cruwear, right? Wrong. Okay, so it's not Cruwear. He got how surprising, he got the D2. And here you go, Warhorse Clone. Cruwear, not. Okay, it's D2. You can see it's about 11% chromium. There's your vanadium level, not bad. I mean, as far as D2 goes, it's okay, but that's what it is. Now, I don't have Rockwells on these. Going forward, I'm going to do my best to get Rockwells. Okay, because now we do have another Rockwell guy. He went and got Kurt's machine, so he's going to do Rockwells for me. So, okay. But no, I don't have it on this batch. So if you're really disappointed, I understand. Kesiwo, I bought this. Okay, I bought this. Everybody's making this exact style, including Eafengrow, right? So, and then there's other names on AliExpress. They got the same damn knife, right? Okay. Except, and see, I got that on Amazon. This one here on Amazon. Okay, it's supposed to be D2. But this one I got on Ollie because I couldn't get it on Amazon. And it's got, these are Burma rubies. No, whatever they are. They're just whatever in there, just the little jewel look. Titanium, carbon fiber, and it's supposed to be D2. But is it D2? And that's why I sent it in, because they said it was D2. Do they even say it anywhere on here? Hold on, they got it printed anywhere? No, but they did in that, on the AliExpress ad. And no, it's not D2. It's 440C, and here's the sheet. And here's my, guy with the metallurgy degree. No, 440. High chromium there, so definitely not D2. D2 would be 11 to 12% chromium. The vanadium would be higher, we'd hope. So yes, this is 440. So yeah, it's more corrosion resistant, and I really don't care. Between 440 and Chinese D2, I'd say it was probably about an even drag. So I figured if they're saying it's D2, and even if it's not, even if it's 8CR, I don't feel cheated. Just wish it was a little earlier over that detemp ball. But yeah, I mean, I like it for a titanium carbon fiber, and it's a big ass dog. And get past me, there you go. Now it's got a nice drop if you can get it past that late detemp ball. There you go. Okay, next. I got these. Now, I thought these were kind of interesting. It was one of my viewers that turned me on to these Bearfly knives. They've got an axis lock on them. They're very lightweight. They're interesting, and they say they're D2, and I think they were all of a rock and maybe $35 a piece, something like that, open design, etc. And then this is that kind of denim blue micarta as well. So I got one of each, and then I just happened to send both of them in to get tested. So here's the blue, and yes, it's D2. It's really D2. See, vanadium's not bad, and of course chromium about 12%, etc., etc. Okay, and then, so you think the green one's D2? Well, hell yeah, of course it is. So, in there as well, D2. So, I mean, if you've seen these on AliExpress, or I don't know if you can find these on Amazon, a lot of knives that are on Amazon now and available. So, these say Bearfly, but, I mean, it's Jufule, Jufuel, whatever. I always get little messages through my AliExpress from them. Oh, we've got another knife. And they do clones and crap too. And now we got us a real knife here. This is the Stedman Dongshan, Dongshan. And good looking knife. It's really got that look of a dagger, and I liked it because of that. It's pretty thick here. It's got some really cool looking titanium accents that are different color here that kind of make it really stand out. But it's fairly good size knife as well. But I thought, I mean, is that really M390? And I remember somebody questioning Stedman on their M390 a couple of years ago. That's when I kind of went into hyperdrive and tested a few. And yes, they always tested M390, correct? And so does this one. There's your vanadium, there's your chromium. So when you get to M390, you're at about a 19% chromium level. And of course, there's your vanadium. That's very high as well. Yes. What was I going to say about M390? Yeah, and then, of course, I don't have the Rockwell. So, and I will try and go back around because this is my knife. This wasn't one sent to me by somebody else, so I could get that tested in the future. It'd be interesting to know. Okay, so we'll check that out. And then this is another one that I got on AliExpress, and I got this one because this is Fat Dragon. Okay, this is a Fat Dragon knife, and it's called Fertile Soil. And Fat Dragon's made some really cool looking knives. And this is no exception. This is really a good looking knife, and it's a big knife. But let me show you something. It's beautiful. It's almost like my dream of the perfect knife, except for it's a little late over the detamp ball. And here's the problem: that the flipper tab is so subtle that it's small. It's kind of muted to where by the time it gets over the detamp ball, it's already past your thumb, which means it's going to swing around and hit you. So you're going to get you a love bite if you don't watch it. But here's on this knife, just check this out right here. Okay, this is where they should have mounted the pocket clip. You notice? No pocket clip. No pocket clip, but they got the carbon fiber on both sides. Big knife, beautiful design, flows, everything. Fairly light for its big, huge size, and just a beautiful design, except there's no pocket clip. I mean, I just went to the tops of the buildings. I didn't even notice it when I ordered it, and I screamed because I go, what a super waste of such a wonderful design and no pocket clip. So I put a lanyard on it. I mean, I'm going to have to live with it, but that is, and maybe somebody someday I could go and they could drill in there and put, make me a titanium pocket clip to go with this. It would make this like perfect. And is it real M390? And that's the big question, right? And yeah, it is 4.57 vanadium. There's your chromium up there at 19%, etc. Wow. Absolutely. Really cool. I like it. Now, of course, I don't know the Rockwell, so there we go again. Now, the next one is CH Knives. And this is that little double detent. Detent holds it shut, detent holds it open, but it's a non-locking knife, technically, okay? So they say it's M390. So, of course, I sent it in because, people are not that familiar with CH knives. They act like they've never seen one before, half of them. And they've been out for years. But here you go. Chromium, 20%, vanadium, 4.72, etc. Yes, of course, it's M390. So, and it's super lightweight. Great little knife. I think they're on the spreadsheet. I have tested M390 with CH before, but I just thought I'd test again because it's been a while. And I don't know the Rockwell on this. There is a flat spot where we could check. So in the future, here's my Kuby fixed blade, by the way. And I think it was John Smith, one of our viewers, who said, I got one of these and they're really inexpensive. And he likes fixed blade knives really well. And he says, this is D2. It's really nice. And it seems to hold an edge pretty long. Do you know the Rockwell on this? And I said, no, I've never had it tested. And I haven't, but I'll probably send this in to get Rockwell as well. But is it really D2 steel? And yes, it's really D2, okay? Now, there's a little bit of tie in there because of the coating. They have a coating. But there's your vanadium level, chromium level. It's a 12%, chromium, tool steel, etc. So, yes, it's D2. Haven't ever, Kuby's good with whatever they tell you it is. But this is full tang. It's got some heft to it. But it's a good looking knife. I like it. That and QSP Bison has a really good, that fixed blade is really, really nice too. I mean, as far as budget fixed blades, they're really good. And then the Kuby KB240 Atlas, and of course this is a Jelly Jerry design, and this is it's a humongous beast, but it's got incredible action. Just look at this. It just lays around. It just follows you around. I mean, it's just great. And it's so easy to flick or flip, and yet I really like it. I guess there's some people just don't like this, but I don't know where they're coming from, because I mean, the blade's not obviously, you know, an all-purpose, you know, piercing, slicing, whatever, forever, but still, that's just great looking design. I like it. And is it really S35VN? Well, yes, it is. Here's your vanadium. Here's your chromium. See that? See these elements? Yes, that's S35VN. Absolutely. Okay. And you notice the difference also when you get to the chromium on S35 is 14%, where M390 is, like we were saying, 19 to 20%, but this is lower. Now, M390 may have like close to 5% vanadium. This is more like a 4% vanadium steel. And then I guess, you know what, I'm going to skip. I'm going to go to my Eafengrow here, and then we're going to talk about Rambo. But here's the Eafengrow, like the Kesiwo, or what, you know, there's 3 different brands that brand it for themselves. And yes, it's laid over that damn detent. But other than that, I mean, this is a big knife. It's cool. I like it. I love the design. It's got a nice drop. It's centered. It seems pretty nice. And it was like a rockin' $20 on Amazon, that kind of thing. But they're saying it's D2. Now, I corresponded with the owner of Eafengrow. He sent me knives. We tested them. They were all D2. But previous models, he got lied to by the manufacturer, supposedly. That's the story. And so when he saw my test results early on when they came out, I'm going, they're not D2, they're 8CR, etc., right? So that's when he changed his manufacturing, and they've all been D2. The problem is, what's still left in stock in the US, and I've had this for several months, probably 2.5 months or so. So yeah, this probably was one of the old guard that hadn't washed through the system, but that makes people uncertain. If you don't pull your current stock that's 8CR and get rid of it, then people can't be assured that what they're buying is now D2. To me, I don't care, because I think 8CR can probably perform damn near as well as most Chinese D2 does anyhow. So that's just my opinion. But is this D2? No, it's 8CR. So this one, no. Okay? I mean, obviously, your chromium would be at about 11 to something like that percent. Your vanadium would definitely be higher if it was D2, and it's not. It's not D2. Okay? It's 8CR. So, are we done arguing? That drives me crazy, because it's like, flush this out. Get this done. What's wrong with you? I mean, I'd be embarrassed. I'd just pull my entire stock and make sure everything was coming out new. I'd refresh it. Here's Rambo, the Last Blood Heart Stopper, right? So this, I got this. I used to like the Rambo knives. I used to have the whole set of them, you know, and that first one that came out, the one with the wooden handle and stuff on it, and I can't remember the name of that, but you know, that was my favorite, and that was a Haas. But then they were like Gilhibben, which was great because he's a great knife maker, but they were his design, but not his manufacturer. And it was like United Cutlery, and so it was like J2 steel. Well, this one came out, and I was more excited about this because I'd kind of read up on it, and I thought, laying this down over here, that since I saw it on Blade HQ and they said Niolox, and then I did some studying up on Niolox, and it's like Lion Steel's used Niolox, other people have used Niolox in their fixed blade knives. I mean, Niolox is supposed to be pretty good steel. I'm going, oh, okay, so you got Detmer Paul as the designer. Does it say it in here? Somewhere around here, it should. And so he's the designer, which is a great designer. And then, or is it down in here? There it is. Okay. So I thought, oh, and Niolox. So this is a real blade. I thought this is real. And then, so I had it tested. It's not Niolox. It's HCR. Here's the thing. Okay. Take a look. Okay. HCR. Now, you can look at this and compare this to Niolox if you want. And I will show you Niolox, okay? Look at the vanadium level. In Niolox, you've got 0.9, almost 1% vanadium. Here, you got 0.122. Very little, if any, vanadium, which lines up with HCR. HCR13 would be about 13% chromium. Okay, the chromium level in Niolox is about 13%, so you can't really tell by the chromium level. But look at the moly, 1.1. Here the moly is 0.053. Now, HCR is supposed to be about 0.1 to 0.3, something like that. Now, let me see, of moly. Yeah, 0.1 to 0.3, but this is 0.05. So, and definitely, the moly here is 1.1. Okay, so there's no match there at all. Okay, and then manganese 0.345. There is no manganese in this Niolox. Okay, and then manganese here is about 1%. So this manganese is pretty low even for HCR, but the closest match to this is HCR. Okay, this is another place online that had the heart stopper, and you can see they're saying it's 7CR17. But if it was 17, that'd be 17% chromium, and it's not. It's 14, so it's closer to a 13, like an 8CR13. So it's not 7CR17 either. It's 8CR13. So, I mean, is that better than J2? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but not much, depending on the Rockwell. So I just kind of, I mean, Detmer Pole, yeah. And then I heard that after more studying that there were some knives made by Lion Steel, but they were extremely limited run, but they cost way more than $160, okay? Way more. I think that's where I picked up on that Niolox thing, and probably where Blade HQ got that impression from, because nobody else other than Blade HQ is calling them Niolox, okay? So this is just the factory run, all right? And that's what they're selling too on a Blade HQ. So it is what it is. I've taken enough of your time running my damn mouth, but yeah, I thought it was kind of an interesting group of knives. But I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much. Maybe this is informative, especially these no-name ones. The PMI is really important when you come out to these things, and maybe even CH knives, definitely Fat Dragon, that kind of thing. So, and Kesiwo or whatever. So, at least we learned something here. Thank you so much. Take care. We do love them knives, so you guys stay sharp.